Okay, so I'm just looking for a one and done. I'm just looking to blow off steam. Might as well make a diary entry about it. Nobody's watching anyway. But maybe someday someone will. We don't know what will be saved. It's so like papyri or hemp. There are papyri scrolls and there are hemp scrolls. There are scrolls made of skin. Anyway, just wanted to make a riff as a diary entry. Unfortunately, my page of presentation is also my diary. It's so weird. In some sense, I want to talk to everybody today, but I know that today is not the day that is the day for my message. It's not my message, whatever. That's so arrogant. My message. My message. I have a message. I don't have a message. But we are all conduits. And my dedication to making diary entries isn't a. It doesn't like lift me up, but it's like I'm a bend in the river. I'm a bend in the river, and God flows over me. God is an evolving God. God is not perfect. God is always the most perfect. Resolution is a part of reality. At low resolution, there is maximal strife. The higher the resolution of God, the less strife. At low and high resolutions, the rules of God are the same. The rules of God act different ways amongst different resolutions. It is really simple as that. It's not. Anyway, this was just supposed to be a riff diary entry. I felt like screaming. I felt like screaming. And I'm trying to do it beautifully. I'm failing miserably, but maybe someday. You only have to hit that home run once in real life. If you're playing baseball, you better hit that home run somewhere within your three swings, somewhere within the 9 innings. But in real life, swing, 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 swing. If you swing too much, too hard, too fast, and you're not good at it, well, you'll tire yourself out and die of exhaustion before you ever hit that home run. And if you think too much and you never take that swing, well, then you'll die from just standing there and never taking the swing. It's like trying to figure out when to take the swing. And in the baseball game, you get 3 innings and you get, you get 9 innings and you get 3 swings in the baseball game. And in real life, you get as many swings as you want, you know. But more swings doesn't mean more home runs. It's weird. Anyway, just wanted to scream. I'm trying to sculpt my screen into a thing of beauty. The Scream. I think, yeah, that painting, The Scream, such a terrible painting, but really good too. It's like the most expensive painting in the world. That's remarkable. Or at least it was like 10 years ago. I haven't paid attention to the art market for about 10 years, which is actually probably a good thing for me because, actually, yeah, the art market is the biggest bubble. It's even a bigger bubble than real estate. And real estate's a pretty big bubble, but actually, the art market is about to collapse. Not because art is bad, art is great, but the last 15 to 25 years of art have been shit, and I'll talk about it at another time, but some of the greatest artists of the turn of the century have degenerated instead of progressing. You know, Michelangelo went from the bum, the stinky, dirty, smelly bum. Michelangelo was a stinky, dirty, smelly bum. And there's all these stories of this or that. And he was, no, he was a general contractor. He was this, that, whatever. But, you know, I love the legend. Like, he was stinky. He only bathed once a month. You know, he was a drunk. He'd more or less live up in his scaffolding. People said, oh, he laid flat on his back. Not quite, but sometimes he did. But he also kept a chamber pot, which is a nice way of saying, like, a, back when Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel, like, that's back in the day when people didn't have bathrooms. People didn't have toilets. They had chamber pots, which is a nice way of saying a bucket you shit in. Rumor has it, legend has it, that he wouldn't bathe. He'd stay up in his scaffolding for days, even threatening Julius II, the Pope. Get the fuck out of here, Pope, I'm painting. You know, but he was painting for the Pope. So even though he was threatening the Pope, he was threatening the Pope to protect the Pope, which is weird. And Julius II, nobody loves Julius II except for me. I don't know anybody. I'm sure there are people in the world today who love Julius II, but I don't know anybody who loves him as much as I do. I know they're out there. Actually, not only that, I know that Raphael loved him, and I know that Michelangelo loved him. And I know there were others too, but I forget their names. But who can forget those names? You can't forget the names Michelangelo and Raphael. They're tattoos on our brains. Something we got to deal with. Anyway. I'm also reminded, because I'm looking for different keys, different keys, different musical keys, right? Because a musical key, that's the thing too, like the word key, like a musical key. A key unlocks a door. Keys unlock doors, but then there's chords. There's scales. There's chords. But then, if we dive into India, there's the Shruti, which some people say is a 22 note system or a 22 Shruti system, something like that, which in some sense, in a little bit of a mathematical way, corresponds to the 22 two letters of the Hebrew alphabet. But then again, there's the jots and tittles. But then again, on the Shruti, there's the 12 tones. The Shruti are built around like Western harmonics and Indian music are intimately entwined. It'll be interesting in the next few hundred years the way that the 12 tone of Western music incorporates with the Shruti of, well, we call it India. I guess these days in India, the name of what we call India is leaning toward the name Bharat. Bharat. Can't blame them. Can't blame them for using that name, but what I was going to say too is that this also reminds me of, was it Susan Langer? I think she was at Harvard, somewhere in New England. She was a professor of philosophy. She wrote the book Philosophy in a New Key. I remember when I first bought that book like 15 years ago at a used bookstore. I remember when I first opened the pages, I was like, oh, this is too hard for me. But then I remember picking it up like 8 years later and like understanding it perfectly just because of exposure of podcasts, just more vocabulary. So like I didn't have to study anything. It's like time taught me that book, Philosophy in a New Key. I still have to look into that book further, but for some reason I feel like I love that lady. Kind of like I love Virginia Woolf. Kind of like I love uh, uh, Anais Nin. Kind of like I love what's that girl's name? Jewish girl from World War II. The girl who was who wrote the diary, Anne Frank. It's kind of how I like Susan D. Langer. I know there's another Langer that's, I think she's still alive. She wrote a book counterclockwise. That was interesting. That's not the lady I'm talking about, but I like her too. Yeah, Philosophy in a New Key. What's the new key? I'm trying to find a high harmonic. A lot of times I go too high, my voice gets uncomfortable, and then I bring it down to explode the harmonic. If you're a student of my videos, which nobody is, but just in case, I make this diary just in case someone will get it. Maybe one person somewhere someday, 1,000 years ago, from now, 10,000 years from now, maybe someday someone will get it. I don't know. I get something. I'm a totally piece of crap human. It doesn't even matter. Like, that's the thing. If I succeed, like, either way, if I succeed or if I fail, my fate is the same. I will be, I will be battling demons in purgatory long before you ever watch this. And I will either win or I will lose. I don't care, right? I may be destined for hell or I may be destined for heaven. But my prayer, this recording, why I'm putting my energy, I could be doing other things today. I could be catching the mice that are shitting all over my counters right now. But instead, I think this is more important. Like, I do my best, I clean up, like, I bought the pine saw, I bought some traps, but I don't use them. I look at them and I say, I could kill that motherfucker right now. I could kill that motherfucker right now. I have the trap. It's kind of like having a gun. Like, if you're committed to not killing mammals, right? I'm not saying I'm a complete pacifist, but I'm committed to trying not to kill mammals because there's a specific reason why mammals are mammals. I do believe mammals made better. Like, I'm a semi-Lamarckian. I'm a semi-pseudo-Lamarckian so far as evolution is concerned. Like, I do believe that, like, let's put it this way. I don't know how to say it. One of the things that people don't talk about when it comes to evolution is the fact that a mother is born with all of her eggs, which means that the eggs were actually formed inside of the grandmother. So the maternal grandmother and the paternal father, like, that's the grind. It's so weird. But that actually makes sense evolutionary. Like, the eggs, yeah, I'm gonna have to pick this up at another time, but I'm glad I had that thought. I'll try to remember it. I've talked about it before, but, like, think about that evolutionarily. The sperm are made in the man. So, like, when you're born, when you're conceived, forget that. When you're conceived from a sperm from your father that was produced within the sperm from your father was produced within a short time period. The sperm of your father was produced, let's say, something like over the last 2 weeks. Somewhere over the last 2 weeks, the sperm that became half of you was produced by your father. But the other half of you, the egg, came from your mother. Your mother was born with that egg. All of the genetics in that egg preceded your mother's whole life. Half of you was born at the exact same time that your mother was born. It's questionable whether or not your mother kind of has anything to do with you, because the egg was formed inside your mother when your mother was formed inside of your grandmother. Like, your maternal grandmother is your incubator, in a sense, for half of you. So, like the 9 months that your maternal grandmother formed you, the 9 months that your okay, so your mother was inside your grandmother's womb for a number of months. Best case scenario, 9. Might be 7. But like, you and your mother were formed at the same time. Or half of you was formed with the fullness of your mother. In her mother's womb. That's why the woman connection, and it has everything to do with mitochondrial DNA. It's so mathematically perfect. It's this cascade of motherhood. It's so beautiful. But then the father, right? So the mother is the master of time, wisdom across time. Whereas the father's knowledge is the now, in so much as the sperm from the father has nothing to do with the father's father. Everything about your mother and you has everything to do with you and your grandmother. If you are a woman, you are the recipient of the evolutionary lineage of mitochondrial DNA back from the very first mitochondrial thing to the present. Every single male is the death of the lineage of mitochondrial DNA that stretches all the way back to the very beginning of mitochondria. I think it's true, it's factual, it's actual. In so much as we can talk about science, popular science, great magazine, Popular Mechanics, great magazine. In so much as both are concerned, I'm not sure if there's a magazine called Popular Chemistry, but there should be if there isn't. Never mind Popular Electronics and everything else. Let's make what is it? Make magazines great again. Mga. Yeah, that's it's wild. Every single man represents the death of a lineage of mitochondrial DNA that stretches all the way back to the very beginning of mitochondria. So I know it's ugly. I want to make it pretty. I like those high tones. Makes me feel different. Yeah. Fuck all that shit, man. If you made it this far, you must be crazy. In which case, I have an assignment for you. Binge watch. Binge watch performances of Henry Purcell's The Cold King. I think that's what it's called. Henry Purcell, The Cold King. That was my impersonation of Henry Purcell's The Cold King. I don't know the music well enough to get it right, but it's made an impression upon me. I love you, Henry Purcell, even though you might be a dirty bastard. Or maybe you're the nicest guy I ever met. Don't know, but your music's awesome, so thanks.